Deep in a vast green forest, animals of all shapes and sizes lived in harmony. The towering trees swayed gently in the breeze, their leaves rustling like whispers. Birds chirped joyfully, rabbits hopped through the soft grass, and squirrels leaped from branch to branch. Among them was a little squirrel named Nibbles, who had the biggest dreams of adventure. Nibbles was smaller than the other squirrels, but he never let that stop him. While the others played and gathered food, he would sit high on a branch, gazing into the distance, imagining himself on great adventures. He believed that one day he would do something truly important. One day, a sudden gust of wind swept through the forest, shaking the trees wildly. High above, a tiny bluebird named Pip lost her balance. With a frightened chirp, she tumbled from her nest, her small wings flapping helplessly as she fell toward the forest floor. Nibbles was resting on a nearby branch when he heard Pip's cry. He quickly looked down and saw the little bird on the ground, shivering with fear. Her nest was far above, too high for her to climb back on her own. Nibbles knew he had to help. Other animals gathered around, watching the tiny bird struggle. The rabbits whispered nervously. The deer tilted their heads in concern, and the bigger squirrels shook their heads. "That tree is too tall," they murmured. "Nibbles is too small to climb that high." But Nibbles didn't listen. He was already planning his rescue. Without a moment to lose, Nibbles took a deep breath and started climbing the towering tree. His tiny paws gripped the rough bark, his tail flicked for balance, and his heart pounded in his chest. The wind rustled the branches around him, but he didn't stop. He had to get Pip home. Higher and higher Nibbles climbed, but suddenly his foot slipped. For a moment, he dangled dangerously, his claws barely holding on. Below, Pip gasped in fear. The animals watching held their breath. But Nibbles gritted his teeth and found his grip again. He would not give up now. After what felt like forever, Nibbles finally reached the nest. He carefully lifted Pip with his tiny paws and placed her gently inside. The little bird chirped in relief, snuggling into the safety of her home. Nibbles smiled, knowing he had done something truly special. Just then, Pip's mother swooped down, her eyes filled with gratitude. She flapped her wings excitedly and chirped, "Nibbles, you saved my baby. How can I ever thank you?" Nibbles, still catching his breath, simply smiled and said, "Anyone can be a hero, no matter how small." Down below, the other animals erupted into cheers. The rabbits thumped their feet, the deer nodded proudly, and the squirrels chattered with excitement. "Hooray for Nibbles, the bravest squirrel in the forest!" they cheered. For the first time, Nibbles wasn't just a little squirrel. He was a hero. As the sun dipped behind the trees, painting the sky in golden hues, Pip snuggled close to her mother in their cozy nest. Nibbles sat on a nearby branch, watching with a warm feeling in his heart. He had done it. He had helped someone in need. And that was the greatest adventure of all. From that day on, Nibbles was no longer just another small squirrel. He was the bravest squirrel in the forest. Whenever the wind rustled the leaves, the animals would remember his courage. And as he stood proudly on a tree stump, gazing at the horizon, Nibbles knew one thing for sure. Being small didn't mean you couldn't do big things. The end.